Were you ever called names at school for something you couldn't control? The author, Peter Hollins, was. Names like Skeletor, Beanpole, and Bone Boy were hurled at him simply because he was thin. The teasing followed him into university, until that is, he took decisive action. In his second year, with the support of a driven roommate, he committed to eating 5 full meals a day. His roommate kept him on track, asking about his food intake, and even buying ice cream when Hollins hadn't hit his calorie target. That experience taught Hollins something lasting. Willpower wears out, and distractions are everywhere. But with the right systems, support, and mindset, discipline can shift from a grind to becoming a habit. Today, you'll learn how to strengthen your discipline and build habits that help you resist temptation, stay focused, and achieve the goals that matter most. You've been resisting the cookie all day, but it's still there, calling softly from the jar. Eventually you give in. Why? Your willpower has worn down. That wear down is called willpower fatigue. You see, self-discipline has a biological basis, more like a muscle you can train, but also tire out. Recognizing this is empowering. It means you can build discipline intentionally and set up your life to make self-discipline easier. Your brain's prefrontal cortex sits at the heart of self-discipline. It shows increased activity when you delay gratification or make long-term decisions. Studies link stronger childhood self-control with later life success. The good news? Due to neuroplasticity, you can still build these skills. Practices like meditation boost activity in parts of your brain that support focus and self-regulation, while also quieting the emotional noise that often derails discipline. Focus rests on your brain's executive functions, working memory, impulse control, and cognitive flexibility and adaptability, so training attention directly supports discipline. But no matter how strong your willpower becomes, it will always be finite. Each choice you resist drains your tank a little. Even small acts of self-control, like resisting that cookie, can reduce your persistence on a later, unrelated task. So avoid situations that sap your willpower unnecessarily. It's easier to skip those cookies if you don't keep them in the house. Your motivation matters. If you're dragging yourself through hard choices without a clear reason, discipline won't hold out for long. Motivation rooted in money or recognition tends to fade. Intrinsic motivators work better, like feeling you're making progress, learning new things, or contributing to something bigger. These tie into 3 core needs: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Extrinsic motivators rely on outside rewards or approval. Intrinsic motivators come from personal interest and values. Be explicit in naming your drivers. Be honest with yourself. Which ones actually move you? When you care deeply about your goal, self-discipline often follows naturally. Navy SEALs, who depend on discipline for survival, put all of this into action. They're known for operating by the 40% rule, which says that when you feel like you've reached your limit, you're actually only 40% of the way there. That belief alone can push you further, an effect seen in studies on placebos, where performance improves just because people expect it to. SEALs also use tools like box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, then repeat to manage stress responses that might otherwise hijack their focus. Finally, big goals can boost your performance more than small ones, if they're paired with real commitment. That's the logic behind the 10x rule. Aim 10 times higher than you think you should, then take 10 times the action. To avoid giving in too soon, use the 10-minute rule. When you want to stop or indulge, wait 10 more minutes. Each small act of self-control builds your capacity for more. The more you practice, the easier it will become. So now you have every intention of building better habits, but still you find yourself stuck. What's going on? It's useful to know that your discipline rests on 2 levers: removing the quiet drainers and training yourself to handle discomfort without giving in. Let's look at some drainers first. One common trap is false hope syndrome, setting unrealistic goals because you underestimate how hard real change is. If your target is too ambitious, even a small setback can feel like failure. Start smaller, build momentum. Choose goals that match where you are, not where you wish you were. Another drain is perfectionism. If you wait until conditions are perfect before starting, you may never start at all. Use the 75% rule. Begin when you're roughly 75% sure you're ready. That's usually more than enough. You can adjust as you go. Watch out, too, for internal rationalizations. Past effort doesn't buy you a break. Reminding yourself how disciplined you were yesterday can make it feel justified to slack off today. But each decision stands on its own. Stay alert to any "I did X, so now I can Y" thinking. That's your discipline draining away in disguise. And finally, beware of Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time you give it. Set tight deadlines instead of generous ones. The less time you allow, the more focused and efficient you'll be. That's how you avoid overcomplicating tasks that could be simple. Now let's turn to discomfort. Discipline is uncomfortable by definition, so instead of avoiding discomfort, train yourself to handle more of it. One effective technique is called urge surfing, shown to work better than fighting urges. Instead of fighting those cravings or trying to distract yourself, notice where they show up in your body. Focus on your breath. Let the urge rise and fall like a wave. It'll pass. Treat the urge as separate from you. Say, "I'm noticing an urge," not "I want it." You'll build strength each time you stay with it rather than reacting. Trying to suppress or distract from urges often backfires. Those tactics make urges stronger. The key is to observe them, not fight them. You can also grow your tolerance for discomfort through practice. Try rejection therapy. Put yourself in mildly awkward situations just to get used to handling them. Ask for a small discount you don't expect to get. Order the unfamiliar dish. Turn the shower cold. When you step outside your comfort zone on purpose, discomfort stops being a threat, and discipline gets easier. Your papers are sprawling across your desk, tabs are open all over your screen, your phone keeps buzzing with social media notifications, and to top it off, a clear jar of candy sits within easy reach. You can be incredibly disciplined and still be undone by a badly designed environment. Your surroundings constantly shape your behavior, often without you noticing. That's why smart self-discipline starts with stacking the deck in your favor. The fewer distractions in your space, the fewer chances your willpower has to wear down. Those ever-present cues quietly eat away at your focus. When you're tired or bored, the path of least resistance wins. So change the path, clear your space, put temptations out of sight, or better yet, out of reach. The more effort it takes to break a habit, the less likely you are to give in. Your brain's reward system also plays a role. Dopamine makes you crave whatever brings pleasure, especially fast, easy pleasure. That includes scrolling, swiping, and snacking. But you can use dopamine to your advantage. Use small, intermittent rewards to reinforce good behavior. Pair tough tasks with things you enjoy. For example, schedule exercise with a friend, or use a small, intermittent reward after you complete a task. These little incentives help good habits stick. The best environments make discipline automatic. You default to the easiest option, so make that the right one. Want to drink more water? Keep it visible and easy to grab. Want to cut screen time? Delete the apps or move them off your home screen. Set things up so doing the right thing takes less effort than doing the wrong one. But even more powerful than your environment is your company. You tend to conform more than you think. The people around you quietly shape what you consider normal, acceptable, or worth striving for. If your closest friends are driven, focused, and healthy, you're more likely to be too. If they're not, you'll have a harder time pulling in the opposite direction. Choose wisely. Seek out people who embody the traits you want to build. Don't just announce your goals. Team up with someone who will hold you to them. An accountability partner keeps you honest, cheers you on, helps you stay consistent when motivation fades, and adds healthy social pressure. You don't want to let them down. Just knowing someone's paying attention can boost performance, a dynamic known as the Hawthorne effect. You can also accelerate your growth by learning from someone who's already ahead. Role models don't need to be perfect. They just need to help you see what's possible and remind you how much better your habits and outcomes could be. Have you heard of the marshmallow experiment? In the classic setup, a child could eat one marshmallow now or wait roughly 15 minutes and receive a second. Researchers then tracked participants for decades. The kids who waited tended to do better on common life measures than those who took the immediate treat, from higher test scores and better stress management to lower rates of certain unhealthy behaviors. That simple choice captures self-discipline. Trade a small pleasure for a larger payoff. Delaying gratification powers a disciplined day. Do the hard thing first, and the reward that follows feels cleaner and bigger. Finish the essay before the show, squeeze out the last reps before you leave the gym, cook a decent meal instead of grabbing fast food. The same principle scales from a single study block to a career decision. Acting for your future self makes this far easier. Brain imaging work shows many people process a distant me, almost like a stranger, which weakens long-term choices. Narrow that gap by vividly picturing who you'll be and what that person gains. In one experiment, people who saw aged digital versions of themselves allocated nearly twice as much to retirement as those who saw current self-avatars. Borrow the idea. Picture your older self enjoying the exact benefits your present choice will buy. When temptation hits, run 4 quick checks in plain language. First, commit to the identity of a disciplined person. Treat the choice as binary with no bargaining. That framing exposes excuses and nudges you to act in line with the identity you claim. Second, evaluate whether you're doing the right thing or the easy thing. The right path often demands extra effort, and naming that truth strips away clever justifications. Third, bring your dessert into view. The payoff that makes the discomfort worth it. Keep reminders close, and make sure the reward truly moves you, or discipline will feel like empty suffering. Fourth, raise self-awareness. Discipline fails on autopilot. Use practices that return you to the present, meditation, focused creative work, sport, so you notice the urge early and choose rather than slide. Delayed gratification, and these 4 checks work together. Thinking and feeling on behalf of your future self makes the hard choice feel worthwhile. The identity and right versus easy lenses cut through rationalizations. The dessert metaphor keeps the reward vivid. Present moment awareness helps you spot the urge while it's still small. Trade the quick hit for the larger win and enjoy the dessert you earned. You're in a cafe grabbing a coffee when the barista slides over a loyalty card with 2 stamps already on it. Oddly, you're now more likely to keep coming back until you earn the free drink. That's the endowed progress effect. When you feel you've started, you tend to continue. Build that feeling deliberately. Count the skills you already bring, log each small win, and make progress visible so you're never at zero. Pair that with goal proximity. Effort ramps up when the finish line feels close. Keep cues that say almost there in sight. A checklist with only 2 boxes left, a graph nudging toward the target, a calendar streak you don't want to break. Shift attention from self to service. Make the beneficiary vivid and specific. The intern waiting for your review so they can go home on time. The client who relies on your accuracy. The friend meeting you at 6 a.m. for a run. When a real person benefits, you're far less likely to bail. Mindset fuels the grind. Choose realistic optimism. Hope for the best while preparing for setbacks. When something slips, extract the lesson and move on. Tie your identity to effort, not outcomes. You control inputs. Guarantees don't exist. Judge today by what you did, not by what you hoped would happen. Motivation is a spark. Habit is the engine. Since motivation fades and willpower drains, make disciplined actions automatic. Research suggests a new daily behavior becomes fairly automatic after around 66 days. Commit to mini habits so small they're hard to skip, then let consistency compound. Early on, the routine may feel wrong because habits live in the basal ganglia, the brain's pattern center, not in the decision hub. Keep going until the pattern clicks, then raise the bar gently. Stack the deck with the 6 sources of influence. Start with personal motivation. Pick a goal that truly matters to you, and personal ability. Shore up skills and tools so the next step feels doable. Add social motivation. People who praise steady effort and expect updates. And social ability. Helpers who teach, spot, or review your work. Shape structural motivation. Small rewards when you hit the mark and mild costs when you don't. And structural ability. Cues and defaults in your space that make the right action the easy one. A pre-packed gym bag by the door, a blocker on distractions during work hours, a standing reminder at one set time each day, each saves willpower for the moments that count.